Hi, welcome to Filled with Message. This is episode 4. I'm going to be talking about love and compassion. Last episode, I talked about God's judgment and that dreams that I've been receiving are telling me that a judgment is coming. And that the point of this video series is to live a life that God had intended you to live, a pure life, and one that's filled with love and compassion. So that's what we're going to talk about today. God loves the creations that God has made, and God expects the same back. You think of any time you make something, you're proud of what you have. It means something to you, and if it doesn't hold up to its purpose, then you kind of get tired of it or upset with it. Or think about having kids or something like that, where you show them all the love in the world, and they're a brat back to you, or they're mean back to you, or like if you're in an abusive relationship, maybe your partner is mean to you, even though you show them all the love. And think about the way that makes you feel. Um, you feel upset, you feel hurt that you've put all this love into something, all this work into something, and you're not getting it back. God feels the same way. God created everything for us. God wanted us to be happy in life and wanted us to enjoy God's creations. Um, our life was meant to be lived in paradise where we didn't have any needs and um, didn't have to struggle for things. We can just enjoy life and appreciate all that God has made. And excuse me, it's a little late. Um, so the first love that we need to show is love back to God, and that means in your heart truly accepting God as um, as that higher power, and um, wanting to live the best life that you can possibly live, um, and make God proud and love God back. Maybe you don't have to pray every single day. You don't have to be in church every single day, um, but you do need in your heart to have that love for God and that willingness to um, fulfill any purpose that God has of you. Kind of like how I am now, where like streaming isn't my kind of thing. I'm not great with social media or setting up these videos, but I felt like God had a calling and I answered it. Um, be open to receiving God's message, and in your heart, always have that love for God that you want in return. Um, Next is loving those around you, loving people. Be a good family member, whether you're a parent, a sibling, a child. Show love and compassion to your family. Help them out when you can. Families are supposed to work together to uh, to help everyone find success and be cared for. And a lot of families these days don't have that kind of love, compassion, and the work that needs put into it. Um, I think uh, the divorce rate is uh, actually, I think the last time I've seen the divorce rate is declining because less people are getting married in the first place. Um, and of the marriages, a lot of them fail. And it's been that way for a while. And you start seeing broken homes and kids that don't get the care and love that they deserve or that they need. And uh, adults that don't step up and accept responsibility. Um, and even if you're in a situation where you have to split, have to divorce, it's not ideal, but it happens. And even when it happens, you still need to show love and compassion to your children. Um, you need to be there and provide for them, and understand that you shape their lives. And um, if you show them anything but love and compassion, then how can you expect them to grow up knowing how to love or how to be compassionate? Um, you know, children need their parents in their lives, and they need their parents to be good parents, not abusive ones, not overly strict ones, and not necessarily parents that are too soft. Children need discipline, they need guidelines, but most of all, they need love and compassion. Um, that's showing love and compassion to children makes a massive difference because children strive for attention. And if they don't receive positive attention, they'll seek negative attention. And then once they understand that the negative attention is the only way that they get any kind of uh, attention or any kind of reaction from people, then that's what they start doing, and it leads them down a path of being a bad person as they grow up and being a bad adult and not being able to be the good parent for their children. Um, so absolutely do your best to show love and compassion to your family, including your children. Be loving, compassionate, loyal, and supportive of your partner. Um, if you still are lucky enough to have parents in your life, then be loving and compassionate to them, and you know, understand that they most likely have your best intentions in mind, unless they are a bad parent. In that situation, I'm sorry. I hope they come around and you can find the love and compassion in your heart to forgive them and build a relationship. Um, you know, moving on from family, um, friends. Friends aren't just there when it's convenient for you. Um, a lot of times you might need someone to lean on, so you go to your friends. Or there's a lot of people that post those memes on social media of, like, oh, I'm this loving person and no one loves me back, and things like that. And, yeah, seeing those might be a little annoying for some people, but ultimately they're seeking that positive attention. They need love and compassion, and for whatever reason, they feel like they're not getting it. So try to be there for your friends, and try to touch base with friends, even if they're not part of your everyday life. Um, you never know when someone is going through something, and just a simple "Hey, how are you doing?" might make their day or their week. And it's just all about just being a good person, and especially if that person is a friend, that means they mean something to you and you mean something to them. So it's important to try to be there and help them whenever you can, and to show them the love and compassion, and be that true friend that they can rely on, because we're creatures, or we're social creatures, and we need people. There's going to be times that you need someone, and if you're always, me, your friends may start backing away, and you may not get that love and compassion that you need. So be sure that you're as good of a friend as you want your friends to be for you. Um, and like I said, that comes in the form of just trying to be there for them whenever you can, and showing them love, showing them support and compassion. And um, like I said, if there's someone you haven't spoken to in a while, just send them a message out of the blue and just be like, hey, how have you been? How are things going? What have you been up to? And just that reconnect and that person to talk to, um, like I said, might make a difference. Uh, Next is going to be love and compassion for people that you don't know. It's easy to be accepting and loving and compassionate of people that you know. Uh, it's because they mean something to you, so you feel encouraged to be there for them. But there's billions of people in this world that we don't know. And we need to show them just as much love and compassion as we show everyone else. And if everyone did that, then this world would have a lot less hate, would have a lot less aggression, would have, possibly less wars. If we were accepting and compassionate of people, regardless of skin color, regardless of religion, regardless of any circumstances, you just look at them as a person, because that's all they are. And then once you get past some of those prejudices, it just becomes person to person. And that love and compassion for another person can rub off on others and can spread. And you might not know it, but an act of kindness might encourage someone else to make an act of kindness. And through that chain, people start to make the world around them better. And one of the keys to being a better person is showing that love and compassion to everyone in the world, regardless of any other circumstances. If you are judging someone and you dislike someone for whatever reason, your dislike for them isn't based on anything for them, unless they personally did something to you that was negative. Then chances are you dislike them because of some kind of prejudgment based on them. And in that case, it's not what they did. It's it's you. You have the hate in your heart where it should be love, and you chose to dislike that person that you don't know for whatever reason, and it may not be justified. Um, if you want to make the world a better place, then you have to drop the prejudices, because prejudices, like I said, build hate in your heart, and that's negative. It's going to make you a negative person. Um, and that goes for LGBTQIA plus. I think I got all the letters of the acronym in there. If I missed one, I apologize. And I know a lot of religion teaches that you know you shouldn't. Your body is a temple, and God made you perfect the way that you are. So you shouldn't. Um, you shouldn't put things like alcohol and tobacco and drugs in you. You shouldn't get tattoos, and you shouldn't alter your body in any way. Um, there's also people who believe that being gay is a sin, and I don't have the answer on if that is true or not. Um, but what I can say is, gay or not, trans or not, or whatever their title or label is, underneath all of that, they're still a person, and that person still needs love and compassion. And chances are, if that person had the right love and compassion in their life, then they may not have gone down that road in the first place. I know several trans people that truly feel like they should be the other gender and have made that transition. And, my beliefs don't matter, because it's not my life, it's their life. But because they're another person, another human being, it's still my job to have love in my heart and to try to be there for them and support them in any way that I can. You know, it may be a sin, it may be wrong, but it's not your place to judge them. It's God's place. It's your place to be a loving and compassionate person, whether you accept their life choices or not. Ultimately, it's their life and their choices to make. And your life is your own with your choices to make. And you can choose to either love or you can choose to hate. And if you have hate in your heart, then that is just as much of a sin as being gay or being trans, maybe. Okay? So show that love and compassion to others regardless of any circumstances, and just worry about being a good person. Don't worry about living other people's lives for them. Don't worry about their choices. Worry about treating them with the same kindness and acceptance and loving compassion as you would anybody else that you potentially already like. Because people that you like may be exactly like people you don't like. And the people that you don't like, you never had a chance to get to know them because you just decided you didn't like them for any reason. Um, Again, I understand when someone is negative towards you, then that gives you reason to dislike them. But that's where that compassion comes in. Yeah, you may have been wrong, but if you hold on to that wrong and you dislike someone for it, then you're still holding hate in your heart. You have to forgive and you have to let it go, and you have to have love and kindness in your heart. And if you can find a way to do that, then you are going to live a happier life. Um, and other people are going to live a happier life too, because that's one less person that's holding something against them. And again, it's their life to live. You don't have to be a part of their life, but it's better to let go and not hold that hate in your heart. Um, and a point I was making earlier, um, there are some people that I know who are going down the trans route and the gay route because they weren't shown love and compassion, and they're looking for a community to fit in with. And they see that those communities are accepting of their own. So in an effort to just be accepted, they start going down that route, whether they really feel that way or not. And not only is that um, not fair to them, but it's also not fair to the people who truly do feel that way and truly do pursue a life of a trans person because they feel like that's really them. Um, but it takes away, when someone fakes being in that community, it takes away from the struggles of that community because there are people in that community that aren't sincere. And one of the ways of avoiding that is, like I said, showing love and compassion to children from the start, and showing that to your friends, especially if you're like classmates or whatever. If you are a parent in a community, um, showing love and compassion for children in the community, in a non-pedophile way, uh, will help provide children with that sense of acceptance. I believe it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that being accepted is one of those needs. And if you don't have the friendship and acceptance and the love of other people, then you aren't able to meet those higher level needs. You aren't able to fulfill your highest achievements and what you're truly possible of if you're missing those building blocks. And love, compassion, acceptance is one of those building blocks. So those of you who are against, gay and trans, just show love and compassion for people across the board, and that might do more in your fight against what you believe is a sin than hating people for the decisions that they make. And again, it's their decision to make, not yours. And if you truly want to be a person of God, then you need to pursue having a heart full of love. And there's no room for love in your heart when there's hate in your heart. So drop those misconceptions of other people, drop your prejudices, and focus on love and compassion. Understand that a lot of society is built by people. Some societies may be guided by religious beliefs, but ultimately the laws and um, the constructs of society are human made. And that might put certain countries in situations where they are fighting for resources because the human-made borders didn't put enough resources on their side, or people on one side of the border hate people on the other side of the border because they have a different religion, or they don't believe in the same things, or whatever reason other than having that love and compassion. And then that leads to wars, especially religious wars, where one country declares war on another because of religious beliefs. When, like I said, of the major religions, most of them are based off of the same teachings. Um, so people are killing other people for what they believe is, righteous in God's eyes, when really what's righteous in God's eyes is showing love and compassion for other people, not killing them. And that's why one of the commandments is thou shalt not kill. And that doesn't mean thou shalt not kill unless they're a different color, or thou shalt not kill unless they're a different religion. It's thou shalt not kill, period. Okay? So having more love and compassion in our hearts for other people, and trying to make this world a better place by supporting others who need help and need support, is going to collectively make the world just a better place for you and everyone else in it, and we can all enjoy our lives. And it'll be a lot easier to have love and compassion if everyone is showing it. So one of the steps towards achieving that purity that I mentioned in the last video is getting rid of the hate in your heart and filling it with love, and doing that through showing love and compassion and acceptance to other people. If please, by all means, leave a comment if you want me to back up what I'm saying with uh, religious texts. Although I truly feel that when I'm making these videos, or when I'm having the vivid dreams, it's not my personal beliefs, and it's not research that is leading what I'm talking about. It's message from God of how He wants us to live our lives. And um, I admit I'm still working on a lot of that myself, and it's not easy. But we all have to put in that work. We all have to, in the case of this video, be loving and accepting and compassionate of others. Um, Doing that will make a lot of the other steps that you see in this video a lot easier to do, and hopefully help spare you when that judgment comes. That's going to be it for this video. I'm not quite sure what the next video is going to be about yet. It depends on what message I receive throughout the week. But I appreciate your support. I appreciate you listening to me ramble on. The message that I receive, it's hard to put into words. I receive message through dreams, and a feeling of presence that comes with those dreams. And sometimes it's hard to interpret, what those dreams are about, unless it's just vividly clear. In the case of the judgment, everyone on fire, and purify thy life, or there will be no salvation. And the other dreams involving fire that I've had, those ones are clear. But sometimes I'll have dreams that are messages, and I can't quite, make them out. And sometimes I'll have more dreams later on that help kind of build that puzzle. So I may not always have a goal for like the next video at the end of the current one, but I promise that whatever message gets delivered to me in the best way that I can, I'll deliver it to all of you. And I know I don't have any views or anything like that right now, and that's honestly perfectly fine with me. My part is to get the word out there, and I feel like when the word is out there, it is there for those to to listen to watch, and to accept, and to start living their life the way that God had intended. So again, thank you for watching if and when you ever come across this video, and I hope to see people with the next video and future videos after that. Thank you, and bye.